so pleased to welcome you to our beautiful home.
Mario Sunshine is and always will be my favorite game of all time. However, I'm well aware that the game has many flaws. Some of the missions are incredibly fun and memorable, like Mirror Madness Tilt Slam Bam or Blooper Surfing Safari. However, others, like the slew of red coin missions and chases with Shadow Mario, can be a bit mundane. There are 7 worlds and 8 missions per world in Mario Sunshine, and today I'm going to be ranking all 56 of these missions. So the rules are simple. We are only talking about what the game calls episodes. So no blue coins, no Delfino Plaza shines, and no Delfino Airstrip. When it comes to things like Shadow Mario or Piantissimo, I'm ranking them all together but separating them based on very minor differences between each of the chases. The terrain, of course, is the biggest difference, so consider that more a ranking of each world than anything else. Also, when it comes to things like the secret missions or the floodless ones, I'm only talking about the main floodless parts of the mission. I know that if you revisit these, you can get shines again by doing a red coin run, but you have flood. I consider those bonuses, though, so they're not really part of this ranking. Before we get into the list, be sure to subscribe to this channel and let me know some of your favorites and least favorites down below. So coming in at number 56, yes, my least favorite Mario Sunshine mission is the Watermelon Festival. So maybe this was predictable, but my goodness, I hate this mission. My feelings for it are legitimately nothing short of just pure hatred. The only way it gets any kind of pass is because it's technically not required to beat Bowser. But man, it really does kill my desire to do any kind of 100% run of this game every time I play it. Fun fact, it's the only shine on this entire list that I did not actually beat because I didn't need to beat it to unlock anything else. So if you don't know how it works, you have to get this giant watermelon from the top of the mountain all the way to this cabana, but the slightest wrong move makes it pop, and it's just a travesty of a mission. So let's move on. Number 55, I have the Hotel Lobby's Secret, and it's by far my least favorite of the secret floodless missions. It's not too terrible actually until you have to walk on this gear, we'll just call it, at the end. I slip and fall off this damn thing constantly. The beginning is okay, but you're almost always doing it angrily because you just want to get back to the stupid gear section again. If you die before the gear, it also feels so terrible because that's the not so hard part. So yeah, just really one that is not great. Number 54, I've got the Mysterious Hotel Delfino. So we're going back to back with Sirena Beach, episodes 2 and 3 at the very bottom. So this mission isn't terrible once you know what to do, but I don't think anybody knew what to do here initially. I can remember some of the earliest YouTube videos I watched were guides for a few missions in this game, and the third mission in Sirena Beach was absolutely one of them. Is it fun to explore the hotel? Yeah, but my goodness, this mission is done in such cryptic fashion, you just have to know it, and that's really not great. Number 53 is the boss of the Tricky Ruins. In my original video where I just simply reviewed the game, and you should watch that after this if you haven't, I pointed out how lazy this mission is. So to me, Gooper Blooper is the Ricco Harbor boss, like that's his home, so why is he here in Noki Bay? I don't really know, but climbing the ruins is decently enjoyable, but it's really short. It just seems like such an afterthought of a mission to have the same boss here for the third time. And so I always wondered what this mission would be like if there was actually a unique boss. Number 52 is Yoshi's Fruit Adventure. This is the final mission of Ricco Harbor, and it would actually be somewhat fun if it weren't for these stinking fruit machines. So here's how long it took me to get a durian, which is what I needed for Yoshi, at 500% speed. So the concept of using the different colored platforms that Yoshi makes is actually really cool it's not often used in the game, but you do get to do it here. And so it's kind of strange for me that so much thought was put into something like this, yet it's used so little in the game. This mission is just overall kind of strange and perhaps a bit out of place. And like I said, the fruit machines are what really make it terrible. Number 51, I've got The Sandbird is Born. This is probably another predictable one to be towards the end. It might also be your very least favorite because it actually is required, unlike the Watermelon Festival. We're back in Gelato Beach, speaking of. So the aesthetic of the Sandbird is actually pretty cool. I do like the area that this mission takes place in. However, the wind ruins the whole thing. Jumping and getting immediately pushed back is really frustrating, and then executing the proper jumps to not fall when the bird turns is massively annoying. The clouds can actually mess you up and make you die, and they're, I would say, more harmful than helpful, honestly. So I've used a few strategies to make that whole transition part where the bird turns as smooth as possible, but it's still really challenging and not consistent, and it's just hard for the wrong reasons. Also, it could have maybe been something more than just red coins. I mean, this is like a legendary bird, and we're just collecting red coins. Number 50, I have Gooper Blooper Returns. They really didn't innovate a whole lot with this episode. The second Gooper Blooper fight is at least in Rico Harbor this time, unlike the boss of the Tricky Ruin, so we're at least in the home area. But we just kind of took him from one spot and moved him to another, and the boss doesn't really change at all. It's a little harder because it's easier to fall off the platform, but that is pretty lame, honestly. At number 49, I have the Goopy Inferno. So I don't think I've ever actually beaten this mission the way that you're supposed to. So what you actually have to do, and I don't have footage of it because I didn't do it, is traverse the underground network of Pianta Village to navigate the Inferno-ridden area without flood. But screw that! Just use this little lake to create a safe island and then spin jump across the platform with the mayor. It's a neat idea to have a floodless stage that isn't in one of those secret areas, but it's just too much of a hassle to complete this the way it was intended when there is such a cheap alternative. Number 48, I have Red Coins in a Bottle. So this mission seems to serve pretty little purpose, and honestly feels like one of the bonus shines you should have gotten in Delfino Plaza. Like, what if there was a little bottle that had washed up on the shore and you got to go in there instead? But we are just kind of told to go into this bottle and get coins. It's a pretty strange mission and very forgettable. The movement underwater also is pretty rough, and overall this mission feels strange and out of place. Number 47, I have Red Coins in the Coral Reef, so we're going for another Red Coin mission. Kind of similar to Red Coins in a Bottle, so the aesthetics in the Coral Reef are awesome, but the movement is what kills this, and it's not necessarily our underwater controls, but the movement of the coins. The stagnant ones are fine, of course, they're easy to find, but what makes this mission pretty bad is that the coins can go through the rocks, but of course you can't. And if the coins just ran into the rocks and just traveled kind of loosely with the schools of fish, it would be fine, but you can just really easily lose track of them, and they move really fast, and it's just not a very fun mission. Number 46, Road to the Big Windmill. So at this point in the game, we have fought this boss many times, and we're going to fight him even more times to unlock the other worlds if you're playing it in that kind of order. The first major mission in the game is to just fight the same thing yet again, and it's honestly crazy to me how many times the polluted piranha is used. Next at number 45, we have Gooper Blooper Breaks Out. So the first time we fight him is not the worst. I mean, we're in the proper setting, and the fight is actually somewhat fascinating, at least for now. I put this first Gooper Blooper fight above the other two for kind of obvious reasons, I think. This fight is relatively innovative in that we have to pull off his arms and then pull off his nose. It's a little violent, maybe. It's just having to do this fight over and over again that, of course, makes the other missions worse. But I put it low on this list still because you can get away with not really doing this the way that it's intended. Similar to something like the Goopy Inferno, you can get away with only ripping off like one or two of the tentacles and then pulling the nose. And these days I pretty much never go for all four, and at most I usually just pull off two. It's a cool idea, but the execution is not great. Number 44, I have King Boo Down Below. This battle can be really, really smooth or really awful depending on your luck with the slots. And also, I've just noticed King Boo's hitbox is kind of awkward to hit with the chili pepper. I'm always worried it's just going to disappear and then I'm not going to hit the tongue properly. Like if you hit him, it doesn't count. You have to hit his tongue. It's strange. For some, perhaps it was a little difficult to figure out that you need to hit him with the pepper first and then any other piece of fruit. It's a strange weakness pattern, and you do also need to then focus on stopping the roulette wheels too, and there's just kind of a lot going on, and it can be frustrating. So definitely not the worst boss in the game, but far from my favorite. Alright, number 43 is Red Coins on the Water, which is the 6th mission in Ricco Harbor. So blooper surfing is fun, sure, but I remember being a kid and actually really struggling to just get the actual shine sprite in this mission. It's weird to have to jump back onto the dock to collect it. I'll be damned if I'm picking anything but the green blooper for this one because some of the turns are pretty tough. Number 42 is Dunebud Sandcastle Secret. It's an okay secret mission overall. I enjoy actually a lot of the secrets, but climbing the sand at the end can be a real pain. It's a simple one though, all things considered, but this ending part is definitely a bit frustrating. Number 41, I have red coins of the pirate ships. And yeah, there's only like 2 red coins on the actual pirate ships. So this one's just a bit of an annoyance, and it's kind of sandwiched between some very important missions in Pinna Park. If you could ride the pirate ships when they rotated all the way around and like actually go on them, I would like this one a lot more, but they're just kind of there. It's not great. Number 40, I have the Secret of Ricco Tower. It's a memorable secret mission that definitely feels like one of those inspirations to Mario Galaxy. However, the slopes on the platforms can be a little wonky, and you can slide off and fall to your death pretty easily, so it's not great. Okay, so now we are going to blitz through the Shadow Mario missions. So they're not great by any means, but they're also not the worst, so I'm putting them here starting at number 39. So at number 39, we're going for Hold It Shadow Mario, as I believe is what it's called, from Noki Bay. It's my least favorite area to chase him around because it's really difficult to get him in a good spot to really chase him down. So the only real criteria used for these missions is how enjoyable chasing Shadow Mario is. Shadow Mario is largely just a task that you have to get done. It's not something that I look back on as going, wow, what a cool mission, or wow, what a crappy mission. It's just kind of there. So that's why we're going for the low 30s. So anyways, I'm just going to kind of breeze through them right now. So number 38, I've got Shadow Mario and Gelato Beach. 37, Ricco Harbor. 36, Sirena Beach. 35, Bianco Hills. 34, Pinna Park. And 33 is the Pianta Village chase. I put Pianta Village as my favorite because he's pretty easy to catch, it's not too difficult, and there is a little innovation here with his Trail of the Fire graffiti. So anyways, moving on to the remaining missions. Number 32, I have Red Coins of Windmill Village. This is the presumed first red coin mission. It's very simple. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just very easy and not particularly memorable, so kind of middle of the road ranking. Number 31, I have Down with Petey Piranha. So my main issue with this boss fight is that it's actually easier to select Road to the Big Windmill, pass the Shine Sprite, and then go fight Petey here instead of his actual mission. The fight itself isn't terrible. You do have to wait around a little bit, and you're kind of confined in this space. It's not the worst, but not too great. And then number 30, I have Red Coins of the Lake, the 8th mission in Bianco Hills. It's a fairly solid red coin mission that involves some very high heights, which is pretty neat. It's better than Red Coins of Windmill Village for sure, but it still does leave me maybe wanting a little more. Alright, number 29, we are going to get into the Piantissimo missions. Again, similar with Shadow Mario, putting them kind of middle of the road. I do like Piantissimo more than Shadow Mario, so they're higher. The races are decent, but far from like the most impressive missions in the game. So we're at approximately the halfway point of our list, and again, we're just going to go from the order in which I actually like them. So Piantissimo's Sand Sprint, starting in Gelato Beach, is number 29. Number 28, Piantissimo's Surf Swim in Noki Bay. If you hit that boxing glove, this one's a total cakewalk. And then again, number 27, Piantissimo's Chase in Pianta Village. I think it's just kind of obvious that I really do like Pianta Village. So anyways, we are now a little more than halfway through, and we're getting into some of the better missions now. So number 26, we have Uncork the Waterfall. So the introduction to Noki Bay, it's definitely a slippery one. I remember feeling like this mission was really challenging as a kid, and I felt like, okay, yeah, I am getting towards the end of the game here. So where it maybe loses some points for me is that this boss is reused from Pinna Park. Still, it's not the most egregious thing to fight him here again, but I'd rather just not see repeated bosses. Number 25, we have Ely Mouth the Dentist. So, talk about an extremely unique boss fight. It's a really cool concept. Cleaning a dirty eel's teeth and then him thanking us with a heart of coins is very memorable. Unfortunately, I'll also always remember how frustrating the underwater controls can be and how the air bubbles are difficult to trigger for healing sometimes. It's still a cool boss though, which is why I put it this high. Number 24, I have Chain Chomp's Bath. It's a quick and simple mission, and it's kind of funny, I think. The way Chain Chomp fits perfectly into the bath is pretty humorous. I appreciate an easier mission sandwiched between the Goopy Inferno and the Secret of the Village Underside for sure. At 23, I have Red Coins in the Hotel. The 8th missions are supposed to feel like these kind of victory lap bonuses for each area, because remember, the 8th missions aren't required to beat the game. Red Coins at the Hotel definitely creates that feeling since it's pretty simple, but we get another crack at just exploring the hotel. At number 22, I have The Secret of Casino Delfino. Despite some potential frustrations with the slots and the Shine Sprite image, I actually really do enjoy this mission a lot. I can do the Shine Sprite puzzle pretty easily. The casino is fun and has a great song, and the secret area itself has a very enjoyable atmosphere. It's one of the easier secret missions, much better than Sirena Beach's second episode, and it's one that I've just always had a good time with. Number 21, Piantas in Need. Again, it's another quick mission right after one of the more challenging ones in the game. I like this one because we are genuinely helping out the old mayor of Pianta Village. It's a nice reminder at the very end of the game as to why we're here in the first place. It's also good for some quick and easy blue coins if you're going for them. Number 20, I have Wiggler Ahoy, Full Steam Ahead. Honestly, the pissed off caterpillar is just what makes this boss fight so enjoyable. He's such a great character. So yeah, you have to wait around for him to come to the right area and then do this, that, and the other, which, I mean, waiting kind of sucks, but it's fine. The music is also so frantic. It's just a pretty fun mission. So it shows also a little bit of continuity from the second one after Wiggler falls off the top of the big tower in Gelato Beach. So very interesting because we don't see that too often in this game.
All right, we are within the top 20 now, so we're at number 19, the Hillside Cave Secret. The presumed first secret mission of the game is actually a little more challenging than many others, I would say. To give you a sense of how oddly my run went this time, I completed the Secret of the Village Underside and the Shell's Secret without dying. But I died not only once, not twice, but 3 times on this first one. I think I was still just a little rusty, and overall, I tend to underestimate this mission. It's solid, and we have a bunch of different blocks and stuff moving everywhere. The star piece jumps are what killed me, typically. Solid, but far from one of the absolute best secrets in the game, but still pretty cool. Number 18, I have Roller Coaster Balloons. So they knew how fun the roller coaster was from the first mission at Pinna Park. And yeah, I know we haven't gotten to that one yet for obvious reasons. It means it's higher on the list, guys. But Roller Coaster Balloons is a decent revisit to the old ride. It would have been cool if there was something new on the coaster, like an extra spur or something that we traveled on because, oh, now that you've saved the park, we were able to expand the roller coaster or something like that. That would have been cool, but we still get a relatively fun second go at it. And in the grand scheme of Mission 8s, some of which really fall flat, this one's actually solid. Number 17, I have Scrubbing Sirena Beach. So yes, it might be surprising to see this mission this high. I actually like it a lot. I feel like they absolutely were required to do one mission that was just clean like crazy, because again, the purpose of this game is to clean up all the mess, so they kept it very, very literal for this mission. I definitely struggled with it as a kid, but once I figured out how to do this spray technique that you'll see me use so much, it's a total cakewalk. You don't even really need the barrels once you get this technique down, but it's amusing to just chuck them around. So I've also heard that the Japanese version of the game required you to clean 99.9% of all the graffiti, but the American version is obviously much more lenient. You can finish this up with certainly not all of it cleaned. Number 16, Mirror Madness Tilt Slam Bam. I mentioned this in the intro as a fun one. So if we were ranking these missions based on just the sound, this would probably be the lowest on the chart.
However, the objective of pounding the mirrors and making these dudes catapult off is always a good time. Number 15, I have the Beach Cannon Secret. So I was blown away by this mission as a kid. I remember seeing it just looked so fascinating and the disappearing blocks were so cool. And I thought it was really difficult because, oh my gosh, the platforms are disappearing. Turns out this is one of the easier secret missions in the game, I think. But I was a dumb kid. What are you going to do? Number 14, I have Chain Chomplets Unchained. The mechanic of slingshotting the chain chomps into the water to cool them off is insanely satisfying, and I wish it was used a little more throughout the game because it is very fun. Alright, number 13, the Yoshi Go Round Secret. Definitely one of the more challenging secret missions. I actually this time did not struggle with the Yoshi egg blocks, and those definitely can give you some trouble, but rather the orange blocks at the end gave me issues. I never died on it, but I just kept missing the jumps and falling down. In my very practiced state with this game, I do welcome some of the more challenging secret missions, and if you know them by heart, you'll know that there's some really difficult missions that I haven't said yet, meaning they're very high on this list, so just keep that in mind. Number 12, I have the Runaway Ferris Wheel. I'm not sure if I've ever beaten this mission the way you're supposed to. Instead, I just do this, and then it's a total cakewalk. I like this mission because it's one that can be totally cheesed, and it feels fun doing so. Things like the Goopy Inferno, where you cheese those, it just feels kind of whatever. It's pretty silly to go through the Ferris wheel like that, so I've always enjoyed doing that. Number 11, I have Secret of the Dirty Lake. When I was a kid, it was hard for me to believe that a level like this could possibly be in what is considered World 1. I thought this was so difficult, and it did take me forever to beat. Now I can handle it pretty well, but it's very memorable. Obviously, this one feels like some inspiration for Mario Galaxy as well. And at number 10, yes, we are getting into the top 10 now. We're talking my absolute favorites of the games. So these are ones that I regularly bring up in conversation, unprompted, to people who've never played this game before. So are you ready? Number 10, we have the Fluff Festival Coin Hunt. This is a true victory lap type of mission. The aesthetic here is just incredible. We've got the whole village celebrating. It's the last mission in the game, theoretically, and there's no time limit or stupid gimmicks. Just a solid red coin hunt to wrap things up, and just a very happy feeling mission in a game that starts off really sad. I enjoy that we see the village kind of evolve into this happy state, and I wish that some of the other Mission 8s did more things like this. Okay, at number 9, I have the Red Coin Fish. Similar to Fluff Festival, Red Coin Fish with its cheerful, unique theme feels like a proper victory lap. Two of the hardest worlds in this game end so softly, and it's deserving of a lot of praise, I think. The Red Coin Fish is a ridiculously easy mission, and even the swimming controls don't ruin it because of just how low-key it is. Getting to explore the underwater area is also very important because we had no time for exploration when fighting the eel, but if you do look around, you're like, wow, this place is pretty cool. So returning to underwater for one last hurrah in Noki Bay was key. We could have gone down there for red coins earlier, but instead we were limited to a bottle, so at least we get to explore in the last mission. At number 8, I have Secret of the Village Underside. Yes, you might have this as legitimately your least favorite mission in the entire game, and here I am putting it at number 8. So for me, I have come to like the good old chucksters. I think it's a hilarious concept that you need to have Piantas throw you, and they all say that they're chucksters. Pretty well practiced on this mission, so I don't actually really die anymore while doing it. It is satisfying every time, though, to complete it without a death, especially getting the last chuckster that throws you to the Shine Sprite. I remember figuring out that you had to line it up with the kind of the crease between the blocks. It just feels so satisfying to beat this one these days. Number 7, I have the Caged Shine Sprite. So this one, no gimmicks, just climbing up high and grabbing a shine. Instead of forcing another boss on us, we just get to go all around Ricco Harbor and climb up to this immense height. At this point in the game, we have fought the Polluted Piranha a bunch. We fought Gooper Blooper, Petey Piranha, and we've done a lot of these boss shines and some other gimmicks. The Caged Shine is a nice change of pace from that, and that's why I really appreciate this mission. Number 6 is Blooper Surfing Safari. So they could have made a whole game out of just this. The track is really well done, and it's cool that the bloopers have different stats. Like, they actually took the time to do that. And this time, unlike the red coin mission later on, there's legitimate arguments to be made for picking any of the 3. You can actually get 2 shines here for beating 2 different time limits. So for the faster one, you may want that purple blooper. Number 5, I have the Wilted Sunflowers. So this is the mission that basically leads you to getting Yoshi. So how could it be anywhere from the top 5? Seriously, I was so excited to finally get Yoshi after this mission. And I do actually enjoy the task of stomping these turtle things, whatever you want to call them. They're pretty interesting in their design, and we don't really see them anywhere else in the game. So fairly cool, and definitely worthy of a top 5 because it's the mission that unlocks Yoshi. Number 4, the Shell's Secret. So I know that this one is, again, frustrating for some people, and when I was younger I certainly agreed with that, but now for me this just feels like Mario Sunshine in its absolute fullest potential. This is late game Mario Sunshine. Like, we have to go up to a super high level to even access the Floodless mission, and we take full advantage of Flood getting there. Then in the secret area, we're doing all kinds of crazy wall kicks and jumps, and once you get the pattern down for this one, it's really fun. Number 3, I have Petey Piranha Strikes Back. So this is the proper way to recycle a boss, and honestly it's the only time in the game that it's really done right. So instead of being confined to the windmill, now he's wreaked havoc across the whole town. Once we activate him or wake him up from his sleep, we realize he's learned the new tornado attack. The boss has a new attack. He's in a different part of the stage. We have to spray him out of the air to fight him in general, and it's just overall a lot more chaotic while still carrying over some of the old mechanics from the original fight. Why we never saw bosses like Gooper Blooper evolve this way is beyond me, but they certainly did get it right with Petey Piranha, and that's why this mission's in the top 3 for me. Alright, number 2, I have the Manta Storm. Sirena Beach's first mission is insane. So the whole eeriness of this beach area, and with the music paired with the sunset, this boss is just so creepy. It was all very unsettling for me as a kid. I actually remember thinking that this fight was legitimately impossible because I knew that you could keep splitting something in half forever, so when would these mantas ever end? So thankfully they do end, and it was brilliant of the designers to turn them purple and send them all after you once you get them small enough. I'm sure it was ridiculously hard to find the last 1 or 2 otherwise. Going on the beach and just having an absolute throwdown with the mantas is where you will be most locked in during pretty much any boss fight in this game. If you aren't careful, you can legitimately get tossed around and into the electric graffiti, and it'll take a number of hits. That's why staying near the water is key, so that you can't get in the electric goop, but this fight is still intense despite that. Though I love this mission, I do put 1 higher than the Manta Storm. And you may have been able to remember which one this is because it's a really integral mission in the game. At number 1, I absolutely have Mecha Bowser. I freaking love this boss fight. Flipping around, doing all kinds of crazy stunts on a roller coaster while shooting rockets at a giant robot lizard while bullet bills are flying at you is just absolutely crazy, and I love it. I wish more missions in Mario Sunshine were as creative as the Mecha Bowser fight. Instead, one of the biggest flaws in Mario Sunshine is fighting somebody like Gooper Blooper 3 times and the polluted Piranha like 47 times. Also, to add to the intensity of this boss fight, we have a unique theme. The fight goes against the grain, the typical Nintendo grain, in that he takes 4 hits and not 3. Of course, both before and after the fight, we do get some memorable cutscenes. The sequence that plays after the fight is legitimately hilarious, and my sister and I still quote Bowser Jr.'s lines to this day.
Leave my mama alone, you bad man. I won't let you take Mama Peach away.
And Peach apparently cannot remember if she gave birth to a spiky lizard.
Mama Peach? I'm your mama?
So anyways, that's my list. Obviously, I have some strong preferences for some of the cooler boss fights in the game. However, many of the secret missions and even some red coin missions take high spots for me. I'm not sure if there will ever be a time where I sit down and try and complete the Watermelon Festival again. Perhaps if I really wanted to record every single shine and talk more about this game, then it might happen someday. For now, I've already done 2 videos about Mario Sunshine, and I mean, it is my favorite game, so I'll probably talk about it again at some point. Also, in case you're wondering, I do still plan to continue making content about the Mega Man series. I just recently finished talking about pretty much every single one of those games that I played as a kid, so it's new territory for me. Recently, I've begun delving into Mega Man 9 for pretty much the first time. I'm not promising it'll be the next video, but there is some stuff in the works. So with that, thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to let me know what some of your favorites and least favorites from Mario Sunshine are down below.